All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of in this Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, you're ready to go. Do me a huge favor, drop me a 1 in the chat. Let me know that you are all set and you can hear me loud and clear. Good morning, everybody. I see the ones coming in and good mornings. All right. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing well, bro. Good morning. How about yourself, man?
Oh man, I am doing great. I am doing great. Headed towards the end of the week already. It's amazing how fast time seems to just fly by. So already into January 2024, headed through the first week.
Yes, sir. It's definitely moving.
Indeed. So let me see. We've got some more people joining us. Let me make sure that you guys got control of your microphone. And I think we are all set here. So let me click out of this. And then this morning, we want to talk about something that Ryan and I created, which is our inner circle credo, right? So for those of you who may not know, I'm pretty sure all of you do, but a credo is a statement, right, of beliefs, that guide you each and every day, right? A statement of beliefs that guides your actions, right? And so, when we participate in this forex market each and every day, it is good to have a credo. So Ryan and I decided that in 2024, we wanted to make sure that we share our credo with the group, right? So that statement that guides your beliefs and actions. So our credo is actually, right, an acronym for action. Okay. And we'll make sure, as a matter of fact, this is actually a part of our new uh, trade plan training that we're adding to the community. And Ryan, that's not updated yet, right?
It is not live yet, but it will be by the end of the week.
Okay. Sounds good. So that is coming, right? So this is part of the trade plan, but I figured we'd go over it today. So every day starting with our credo moving forward. So the A stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, right? Preparing you for any outcome. C reminds you to center yourself in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, right? Those Mindset Mondays are so important. T represents trust in your education, your strategy, trading skills, and intuition. I encourages you to imagine your trade successfully materializing. O emphasizes the need to obey your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. We all know how hard that could be at times. And finally, N stands for never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. We talk about that all the time. So that is our inner circle credo: action. All right. So that's that. Again, that'll be a part of your trading plan. That'll be uploaded in the community this week. All right. Reese, love it and love it. All right. So let's make sure that every day we're repeating that to ourselves, right? Our inner circle credo. Okay. And again, that credo is a statement of beliefs, right? Which guide your actions. All right. So that's that. Good way to start the morning. So let's move on over now to the Forex factor. See what we have going on today. We got preliminary CPI coming through. They got that listed as all day, right? So we haven't gotten anything for that yet. And then pretty light, right? But coming down 8:15 for the US, right? We've got the ADP non-farm employment change, unemployment claims. We know that's a report on private sector job growth in the United States. So we'll be looking for that at 8:15. And of course, that is the precursor, right, to our non-farm payroll. Okay, that's coming up. I believe that's on right Friday. Are we getting it tomorrow? Yep, we're getting it tomorrow. First Friday of the month. We've got that coming through for the United States. We've got employment numbers coming through for Canada as well. It's oftentimes those fall on the same day. So just keep in mind that UCAD trade. And then we've got ISM services PMI. Today, we also have, moving back up to today, we've got crude oil inventories coming through for the United States. So we'll see what that report looks like. But that's pretty much it for today. Clicking on over to trading economics, we got China services sector growth picks up. That's good, right? Second largest economy in the world. That's good for China. UK mortgage approvals rise to a 5-month high. So that's a good sign for their economy. And then the news from yesterday was that the minutes coming from the Fed, the Federal Reserve. So we see here that the Fed kept the funds rate steady at 5.25 to 5.5 for the third consecutive meeting. That was in December, which was in line with expectations, but indicated 75 basis points in cuts for 2024. Policymakers said that recent indicators suggest that economic growth has slowed and job gains have moderated but remained strong, and the unemployment rate has remained low. Inflation has eased over the past year, but remains elevated, right? So the central bank also published new projections. GDP growth is expected higher this year at 2.6% versus 2.1. That's good. But slightly lower in 2024, 1.4 versus 1.5. Also, PCE inflation was revised lower for both 2023, 2.8% versus 3.3, and 2024, 2.4 versus 2.5, as well as core PCE inflation, which is seen at 3.2% in 2023 versus 3.7 and 2.4 versus 2.6 next year. So unemployment projections remain steady at 3.8% for 2023 and 4.1 for next year. And then the so-called dot plot, as they show here, show the median year-end 2024 projection for federal fund rates fell from 4.6 to 5.1 seen in September, right? So definitely the Fed sees rate cuts ahead for 2024. Ryan, any thoughts on that you read in greater detail? Any other articles on the meeting minutes yesterday?
No, I don't have any additional thoughts there.
Cool. All right. So we'll move ahead, and that's what investors have been betting on, rate cuts for 2024. And the Fed seems to be falling in line with that. I guess throughout the rest of the year, it's gonna, looking at the inflation data and things like that, it's gonna depend, how many cuts, right? Is it gonna be 6 cuts for 2024? Is it gonna be 4? So we'll continue to follow the ebbs and flows of what's going on with that. Moving on to the DXY, right? So we can see that for the week, right? You can see that we're up. We've been bullish. Okay, don't have an established weekly low yet, right? A swing low per se. Here's the low for right now, right? Is that that whatever that number is? They need to fix this, or I'd rather them rescale it to be like trading view and everything else. But Reese, you got your charts up. What's that low? What's that low coming through on should just pull it up. Let's update this. Never mind. We'll find out what it is. What is it? 12, 744. No, I'm wondering what that is on the scale differently on
So 100,
is it 100?
100.618.
100.618. Okay. So that's the floor right now at 100. So we've pushed back up to resistance there. So this is a daily low here. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. I wonder why they still leave it like this after all these years, but we can look at other charts to figure it out. Oh, that's all right, Reese. Drop that on you kind of quick. So, but I know you typically follow it. But here we are, right? So we come into this we've reached that 382 target on that 80-20, right? And we're right at that resistance level. We're starting to see, right? We're getting a push right now in this 4-hour candle. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But the 80-20 on that DXY played out perfectly, right? So this is a key level to see if the dollar can get beyond that, right? Can get beyond that level coming off of that news yesterday. Okay, so which didn't move the market too much. So we'll continue to watch that on the DXY as we've run into resistance. Okay, we're all good there. Want to take a look at the S&P. We know we've gotten a correction, right? Some uncertainty out there. The market shifted, say to a mild risk off sentiment with some of the growth concerns and things like that. We had a sell off. So, but overall, right, the S&P has been moving bullish. Okay, this is the daily chart. You can see a beautiful 80-20 play that came out of that zone, and then we took off, shot right off of that monthly level at 4104. That was in line with the 50% retracement. And now we pushed all the way up and we're retesting this level again, right, on the daily. So this 4702 level. So you can see here we pushed bearish and the bears couldn't take over and break that support level when we pushed up. So now we're right back in this zone and we're pressing up against that 4702 level again. Okay. So we are correct. And here we are on the 4, zooming in on it. And you can see how this is moving bearish to press into that 4702 support level. So if it holds, we could possibly be looking at a range and a continuation long, right? If not, if we get below that level, then we look for a further correction on the S&P. But that key support level is going to be at 4702. So coming in here, starting right now today, we're moving a bit bearish. So that correction is still in play right now. All right, so we'll see what happens when we get to that support, because last time we got a bounce at that 40, around that 4702 level. And our stochastic right now in regards to our momentum, we're back in the buy zone on the 4. Okay, so just continue to be patient on that. So right now in the stock market, we've got prices moving down on the S&P. Any questions there?
No, sir.
All right. So let's move on, right? So we've got the S&P, right? Looking a little risk off right now. We're moving to some of our commodity currencies. We'll take a look at this Aussie CAD play. That's been kind of just trudging along. You can see here on the daily off the highs, right? That 90.59 level is a level that it struggles, right? And now we're moving back bearish. Okay. Here's our 4-hour. This was our 80-20 play since last year, right? The end of last year. And it's just continuing to range. But you can see that rejection at that level. We did not get to that D extension, and we are steadily pushing down now, right? So we've got a 4-hour support here. Okay, swing low. Okay, bang. We break below that. What is that? 89.53 level. Then we look for a further move down, right? So you got 2 levels there, 89.53 and 89.28. Okay, so we're still saying, hey, this Aussie CAD can correct. We didn't hit the D extension. We still have an opportunity to correction, and we know that main target is that 382. Any questions on the Aussie CAD?
No, sir. Patience, patience, patience.
That's it. That's it, right? We got proper risk management. What is it hurting to let that trade flow, right? Just let it float, let it do its thing. Uh, Moving on down, take a look at this Aussie yen. We've got currencies moving back long against the yen again. Right. Any news that you've had a chance to catch up on out of Japan? We know with the quake,
Yeah.
and everything, and you know,
Yeah, so they're still on search and rescue on the earthquake. So there are some concerns there. There was also a plane crash at the airport, um, and a major fire. So that's also something that's impacting there as well. So a couple kind of major things happening in Japan right now that kind of started their year off slow, right? They just came off of a holiday, and so Reese's question yesterday, how it's going to impact it, and right now it's slowing things down a bit for the yen. So
correct. Okay. So appreciate it, man. So, we've got things moving back long again, right? Against the yen. Okay. So you can see here on the daily, we've got a fairly decent pullback, right? Almost to that 61 level. As choppy as it is, it has been moving long. So now we're looking, hey, from this daily level, we get above that 97.56 level, we look for a continuation to the upside. Coming down here to the 4, right? Called a trend line break. Okay. So that's this is now that we're moving long, right? We come out of last year, long, Joy, your EJ hit the TP. Excellent work. Excellent work. Way to be patient with that. Right. So we're moving along. So we just took out a high here, high there. So now we're looking for pullbacks and continuations on this, right? So that hit the edge of our buy zone. It's weird because look at it coming out of the break, huge bullish candle, and then it took it all back and then it reversed, right? But it's still within our AB boundary and it is moving long, right? That's why, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely dropping some sevens in there in that chat. It's great work holding on and that, letting us do his thing. Sure. And so it's within the AB boundary, right? We look at the zones and we let the price action do its thing, right? If you're gonna play it. So this is a C to D move right now. Trend line breaks, taking out some highs. So we look for, you can move down to your lower time frames if you have to, but we're looking for pullbacks and continuations, right? Pullbacks and continuations on the yen, right? That's just been the move, right? Of course, so we got here. It's doubled up. So here, this is the 15, right? So maybe we U-turn now at this level. It's looking like it's trying to pull back a bit, right? Didn't quite hit an 80-20 zone, but for that long continuation, right? We get a pullback into the zone and we look for evidence to get long, right? If you want to get involved with that move to the upside, right? We stay patient. We wait for price to hit our zone. Okay, so you just move down through your time frame, find a uh, a smaller wave for entry when you have a trade that's already taken off out of the zone on your main chart. Which here you're looking at the 4. If you're trading off the 4, then you would just drop down, look for a pullback to get into that trade. Right? Any questions on the Aussie yen?
no, sir.
All right. All right. Uh Aussie dollar. Last time I checked on this one, it was still correcting. Yes. So we can see on our Aussie dollar here, right? We move bullish right into the zone. Nice rejection off that 68.47 level. Okay. We're correcting. So we can see here, right? The possibility from a daily perspective of, right, past resistance possibly becoming future support. All right. So we're in that zone. Okay. So we're moving down. So as we come down, you can see the momentum, right? It's pushed our stochastic all the way down. We're back in the buy zone. Okay. So we can see that we're correcting, right? Here's that level right here. Okay. So we'll see if price wants to continue to correct into this zone, and then if we can find support in this area. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. You got your soon you're looking for something because we've got that stochastic moving up out of the buy zone. We got price still working his way down, making lower lows and lower highs, right? So we got a little bit of divergence there. So we look for that momentum to eventually slow, and then we'll see what happens from there. But right now, it didn't push up into my 80-20 zone, right? Up against that monthly resistance, so no play there. And then I'm not in my sweet spot yet if I want to try to get long on this Aussie dollar. So I'm waiting for this to finish correcting. Any questions on the Aussie dollar?
No, sir.
All right. So let's move down, take a look at our CAD Swiss play. All right, so we're looking at this from the 4, but let's check in on the daily because we've got a level that I need to mark. So we'll work our way down to our 4. And this one is right, trying to grind its way higher still. Okay. So this was the setup there. So this is still in play, right? And this one may take a while. Right? Now, tomorrow we've got Canadian employment numbers that'll be released. We'll see how it impacts it. Well, you can see that we've clearly formed a low there. Right? That's in line with that daily support that we just marked up, right in our 80-20 zone. So right now, right, we're still looking to hold that position. Okay, that wave sequence plan out. Let's see if we can continue to climb. All right, that's a big move that we're looking for there. So that one will take a while, but let's see what happens. Any questions on the cash Swiss? It's a longer swing.
Another one of those, just patiently waiting, man.
That's it.
Patiently waiting.
That's it. Right. You can see how it acts, right? I mean, it's a Swissy pair. We know those Swissy pairs get super choppy, and we can see how it was range bound, and then it broke out to the downside and dropped right into that zone. Okay. So let's see what happens. That's the CAD Swiss. CAD yen, right? Let's take a look at it. Okay. It's moving long against the yen again. We had a correction. Um, but we can see, right? So we got that initial huge push. I had to redraw that the TP and everything on this because I redid my charts. But so this one, right, got off to a great start. It ranged and then broke down, but you can see, right? What do we have here, everybody? Right? What type of pattern is that? Anybody tell me at these levels? What happened there? Triple bottom. That's it. Triple bottom. Thank you. Okay. So, right here, here, here. Okay. It tested that zone 3 times. All right. So we're right back in the key area. Past resistance, future support, past support, future resistance. If we get back above 108.34, we're looking to continue long. Okay, we're looking to continue long. Okay. So here we are on the 4. Okay. Look how that came all the way back to the zone. Okay. So looking for is that break above, right? Breaking, we look for ABCD ways to continue above 108.34. But right now, that is bullish, right? That is bullish. We came all the way down, you know, to that A boundary, so we look to get back to the top of that B boundary and then beyond. Okay. Any questions on the CAD? Yeah, look for a break above that 108.34 because it's already moving, right? So look for, and now we're struggling at that level. So we want to look for breaks above 108.34. And then we'll take it, we'll look to whether you drop down, find that wave, but then we look for breaks, test, and continuations. All right, so that's that on the CAD yen, Swissy yen. Okay. What do we think is going on with the Swiss yen, right? We've seen multiple yen pairs now. Moving along. Okay. Moving along. Huge advantage to take a look at all your charts, right? Take a look at them, get a beat on them. You don't have to trade all of them, right? But it helps you to kind of get an overall idea of what's going on in the market. So this is moving along, okay? Right? So there's a high, right? Major high, and we're pushing towards that. Okay, so when we come down, okay, we look that this is continuing to move long. Okay, so we're looking for higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so we've got, look, the market tells you, right? The market gives you signs. Okay, the more and more time you spend on the charts, you start to pick up on the price action patterns, right? So we double bottom right at a 61.8 there, and we're moving long. Okay, we come down to the 1 hour. Chart where we can try to look to get in, right? Because we're moving along already. We need a correction to occur to one of our sweet spots. All right. So we just broke this B boundary. So it's a matter of, does it turn over now and move to a low price for us to get long? Or do we move ourselves into an 80-20 situation, right? To an 80-20 situation that we may be able to take advantage of and take it back to a low price. Okay. Yeah, that Euro GBP. Oh my goodness. Hot mess of a pair. So this is where we are now. So it's already moving long, right? We got a confirmed double bottom. And now we need a correction, right? If it hits our 80-20 zone, we know how to play that. If it turns over and moves to a low price, we look for support within our zone and our key levels, and we get long. Super simple. Questions on the Swiss yen?
No, sir. This one's definitely going to be interesting. Let's see how it responds overall at this level, and if we're able to at some point break it to get to that monthly D extension at 176. I'm still interested to see how we're going to respond at these highs.
Sure. You got a monthly extension at 176.
Yeah, 176,
Hold on.
219.
I'm on the
And on the weekly, if we do break these highs and push to that level, it puts us
yeah,
at an 80-20 on the weekly.
weekly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
especially yeah,
this pair is getting up there, right?
it is. It is. So a lot of things come into an alignment at that level, 176 level. Like I said, weekly it puts you into an 80-20 scenario also. So it could be a pretty powerful situation over the next few weeks.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So we'll continue to keep an eye on. That's getting to some super high levels, man. It just keeps running and running. Look at that
Hmm.
retest there, man, and then it just kept going, kept going. That was definitely the play last year. You could have just sat in those. You live and you learn, right?
Right.
Because they held pretty steadfast. So they keep throwing hints out there about some changes. I know UETA just recently put out some hints, but it's yet to be seen. So that's that on the Swiss yen. Checking in on the Euro Aussie now. Okay, so we've got a bit of a risk off situation that Aussie is correcting. So if we come into this is one that I'm looking at sticking the toes in the water on, right? Already, everybody. Because you can see here, right? Weekly, long term, long term, right? We've got a stochastic where that momentum is shifted, right? We're oversold. And you're starting to find some support here. We don't have a swing low there yet, but if you come to this daily, you can see, right, on this daily chart, long-term swing, we're holding up at that daily support at 161.39, right? And we're starting to move bullish, right? So you've got a resistance level there at 163.13. But this is breaking trend line. And we're looking like we want to move eventually and take out that high. We got a stochastic in the buy zone. Okay, so when you talk about a long-term sweet spot, right, this could be it. So when you talk about risk to reward, when you look at the upside potential on that, that could be huge, right? So on the 4, you can see, right, how we've broken trend line. And if we swing, look at that. Okay. Okay. So this is one where I've started to build a position, right? Started to build a position there because we've got some pretty decent support at that 161.39 level. Okay. So the next key is to see at this 163.14 if we can get above that, right? It's tried it a couple times, right? Pretty strong level there, right? But if we can get above it, right, this could be a decent move over the long term. Okay. So when you look at your risk to reward on that, whether you're putting your stop below your C, right, or you're putting it below your A, right, there's a lot of upside potential on that, right? Especially if you're playing that tight below the C. Like that's a crazy risk to reward if that takes off to the upside. But this is where I'm at on the Euro Aussie. Any questions on that? You want to see if we can make a U-turn in this zone.
No, sir. Makes sense.
Get it. Euro Swissy. Let's take a look at that. All right, so we can see, right, where we push, taking out a low, okay, major low, we push down lower, and it's trying to find some support, right? You can see here on the daily, look at that. It's trying to find some support. As a matter of fact, we have it now. Okay. On the daily, stochastics on the daily is in the buy zone. Okay. So we come down here to our 4, right? You can see where we're settling in. Okay. There, we're just shy, right? But we spotted the 80-20 on the 1, right? This has been a long push down and we're moving sideways, right? Here's our D extension just below that level. So the question is do we hold? Are we going to continue to hold this daily support and move up from here? right? For one more wave up and then possibly a move back down eventually. But it's technically in the zone on the 1 hour. We've got daily support in there now, okay? Supporting our idea, and it's just moving sideways, right? But we got decent upside potential on that, okay? So where it's at, 16, that 1 hour extension, like 75, 76 pips. So that's one that I'm just letting it sit. Ryan, are you involved in this setup?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah, yeah. So just letting us do his thing, right? Nothing we could do uh about it now. That's where we are, right? Set the trade up. If you pull the trigger, let it run. Any questions on the Euro Swissy?
No, sir.
All right. Take a look at this Euro JPY. From the weekly, right? That we've got good support there. All right, good support at 153.15 price held. Okay, and we're pushing bullish right now. Okay, look at that. So you look at this scenario, right? You get above 158.54. Right? We look for a continuation there. All right. So we'll see if we can get above that. We come down here to our 4 hour chart. Very, very choppy. We've already gotten a pullback at 50%. And so we want to see if we can break out. If we can break out above that 158.54 level, then it becomes the same type of scenario where, right, we get a further continuation, right, to the upside on that. Just again, just thinking, long against that yen, long against that yen. It's just a continuation long. That's the overall ABCD swing opportunity there, since we've already gotten that pullback, right? That's the larger overall move on that. Okay. Any questions on that euro yen? Watch that 158.54 level. See if we can get further continuation.
Yeah, this one is moving as I anticipated. I do
Mhm.
have some levels in between there that I'm watching.
Okay.
Those previous breakout zones when it moved to the downside.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
to see how price responds at those levels. Um, I got a range between 158, 662 and 161, 092.
What was your other one?
161, 092. And it's basically that resistance level that you have there and previous support level. And
See
that was
it.
daily and not on the weekly, but it was previous resistance as well uh back in August, September. So yeah. Um so I'm watching that range to see what happens there more at the higher end of that range to see if price is able to stay below that or if price breaks above.
Okay. Okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. So let's see what happens. All right. Let's see what happens. But uh looks like that catching bids again, right? Against that yen. Right. We're moving pretty good. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Appreciate that, man, on those levels.
Yep, yep.
All right. So that's the Euro JPY. The euro, let's take a look at this euro NZD. You can see, right, the similar price action, right? That's got me thinking, right, with these potential longs, right? Look at this support, right? We're at a weekly support level. We're at 173.89. We're starting to catch some bids, right? Bids starting to creep in. Euro versus the New Zealand, we got a little risk off sentiment. We see the S&P is correcting, right? So in my head, I'm thinking this might be levels where price wants to continue to get long. So if we come here to the 4, you can see how we're right. The thinking is kind of the same because it's choppy and we've got a range going on here, right? So I've extended my trend line to the outside of that range, and I'm just gonna watch to see if we can get some upward momentum. Right, 173.89 is the weekly support level. We're at a 786 retracement. Just want to see if we can catch some momentum to the upside. So haven't done anything with this one yet. But I would like to see it to break out and take out some highs and look for a continuation, right? We got 177.40, which is a daily level, right? So to 177.40 and then above there, we look for continuations long, right? We know ultimately if this 786 holds and we do get that U-turn, then we've got a 127 extension at 186.42 over the long-term swing. Okay, it's a 4-hour chart. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
All right. All right. So we've had some major corrections, but we're sitting at key levels now. Just continue to be patient. Continue to be patient. Let's look at this Euro USD. So we take a look at the weekly, right? And we've broken, right, 107.24. We retested, we pushed up, right? So our high on that candle was 111.39. And then we gotta move up in the dollar, right? So we saw it correct. So the question is, right, are we gonna form a swing low at this level and then continue against the dollar? Okay. So we saw the DXY. We know that the DXY had an 80-20 on the 4. It corrected to a 382, and we've got a pause at a daily level on the DXY. Right. So it's just a matter of, is it going to hold at that level and then the dollar continue down? Right. So we've got the Fed verifying rate cuts. Okay. So was that move up to start the year in the dollar just a correction to a higher price, and then we're going to continue down on the dollar? If we do, we're going to look for this Euro USD to move up. Okay. But we don't have a swing low here yet. On the daily, stochastics back in the buy zone, momentum slowing to the downside. So when I come in here to the 4, this is what the swing has looked like. Right? We're making ABCD waves. We got a correction to about a 786, just shy of the 786. Right? Retracement levels, which still puts us at a 1.618 D extension, right around 111.52 for the 4-hour D extension. And then we've got a daily D extension at 112.53. So I've got my trend line drawn. And what I want to see is, do we get above this trend line, right? Or do we correct the retest, right? Our counter trend line to the upside and then get that break, right? But that's what I'm waiting on to see if there's an opportunity, right? For you to either add an additional position to a Euro USD long potentially, or to take an initial trade setup on that. But just kind of a wait and see, right? But this is what the price action has looked like. So it's a matter of, do we break it now or do we get a retest of this trend line, right? I would love to see, right, if we get a move down, a retest, and get a bounce like it did here. Okay. But that's yet to be seen. So just continue to be patient and wait. Any questions on the Euro USD?
No, sir.
All right. Let's move in and take a look at the pound Aussie, right? Because we're seeing some Aussie weakness, and we've got a swing, right? We've got a swing occurring. Look at this, right? So we're seeing see the patterns, everybody, right? That's happening. Right. So on the weekly, we don't have a low yet, but this week we're moving bullish so far. Okay. And you can see here on the daily where we found some support. Okay. So we pushed out of this zone, right? But are we ranging, right? We come down to this zone again and we're getting a rejection. And right now, right, we're trading what we see, and this is moving bullish. So when you look at that move down, you can see how we're getting that reaction back to the upside, and we actually broke out of. We held at 185.87. We consolidated, and we pushed out of that zone. Okay, we pushed out of that zone. So the question is, hey, are we going to continue to make higher highs and higher lows from there and continue? Right. That's what I'm looking for in this play. Right. So as you can see, right, how we got our little range. You can see how we've broken above that range. It came back to retest the top of that range, and we're moving long. Okay, we're moving long. So let me see if we have a wave on this one. There we go. Okay. So on your one, okay, we're flashing right up in our 80-20 zone. We don't have a 382 yet. Okay. So we run up in our zone. Price hasn't made its way back down. Puts us in an 80-20 scenario on this 1 hour chart. Okay. And a correction back down. Like so. Yeah. Okay. So that's an opportunity there because we have not gotten a 382 yet. Okay. Pound Aussie Big Mover is a pound pair. Okay. So, right. Then, right, once you get to the low price, you played at 80-20. Once you get to the low price, you have the potential to get back long on that if we continue to see commodity currency weakness. All right. After that. But I don't want to buy here because it's not in our buy zone. But it is up in our zone and a trend move. Okay. Use additional confirmation, right? We're seeing some Aussie weakness across the board, right? With the exception of the Aussie yen. So just, right, see if you can get confirmation. We're forming a high here, though, in the zone, right? We close out that 1 hour candle. That's going to be a swing high. Okay. Yep. I see it, right? Off that swing, right to that 382 zone, right? And you can see on our stochastic, right? That momentum has been strong to the upside, but we're overbought. Right. So great observation on that. And so it's time. So we may, right? Right, push. We're looking for a correction and then a continuation, but we may push to that. We may push to that 382 on the four. I don't know, but on that 1 hour, right? We can see it kind of falls along with Donette is saying, right? We're approaching a key 38.2 level, and so we'll see. I want to see if this high, solidifies itself after the 7 o'clock hour. See if it holds as the high. All right. Any questions on that pound Aussie?
Kind of a bit of confirmation. We did have a 80-20 play out, and this move to the upside pushes just
Yeah.
shy of TP2 on the 80-20. So it's sitting at a 50% retracement level. So it lines up for potential reversal, be a short term more or
Okay.
long term scenario. I ran the fib off of your high just below your 50% level on that fib.
Right here.
Yeah. One more. That doesn't look the same. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. I started it at 191729.
Here.
Yep. My bad. There you go.
That's off the smart fib with the
Yeah.
okay. I'm on the same page with you now with the sub fibs running down.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That was nice. I missed that one. Did you play that one to the upside?
I did.
Oh, I
I did.
completely
Yep.
missed that. I
I closed out
completely
at
missed it.
TP1 at 165.
Yeah, yeah. I completely missed it. Reach, you put zero. What's that? This one. I totally missed it. I missed that one. Okay, so that's that on that one. So yeah, we got some good confirmation. Appreciate that, man. It's a nice reversal. I definitely think we're gonna form that high there. So watch out for that one for sure. Pound cat, right? Let's take a look at that. It's one that we've been watching. Man, potential long-term move off the daily, which played right into the setup that we were looking at. Okay. Right. Nice bullish candlestick, right? Coming right off that 61.8 level off of daily support. And we can see here on the swing here. Okay. Who called this one out, Ryan? Somebody in the group called this one out.
That was beneath.
But neat, right? Dropping these some sevens, right? Because I definitely didn't see it from the 80-20 perspective. I saw it from the long-term swing, but not from the 80-20 perspectives. Appreciate it, right? Always love the contribution, right? Because that's pretty much there, everybody, right? That's up against that trend line, the 382. That's been a decent move, right? It made its way there. So I'm digging that one. It's a nice play. So I'm interested to see what happens over the long term. This, right? That's sitting at a pretty good level for a longer term, you know, positional type setup. Kind of hard to tell at the beginning of the year. So we'll see. But for that short term swing, that's pretty much there on the pound cat. So great job on that. Really, really good job. All right. I want to take a look at this UCAT before we close out. So we got it on a few levels. Now, if you were tracing this from the 1 hour, it's moved up pretty good, right? From a 1 hour swing, right? That's off that 118, 127 zone. But from the 4, right, we still got a little ways to go, right? And it's making good progress. So we got a sub fib here that's in the 80-20 zone. So it may correct. before hitting that TP1. So just be aware of that. But that's moving up pretty good. So far, so good on that USD CAD to the upside. I was waiting to see if we were gonna get any type of major move yesterday with those FOMC minutes, but it held up pretty good. So we are all set there. Any questions on a USD CAD?
No, sir.
All right. Ryan, anything in particular that you're taking a look at before we wrap things up for today?
Uh, Yesterday, Risa posted a Nasdaq. Did you cover Nasdaq at the beginning, or just S&P?
I did not. I just looked at the S&P.
He posted a Nasdaq on the 30-minute. It looks interesting right now. It's pushing down. There's a 80-20 on the 30-minute and on the 1 hour coming down.
Okay. I don't even know if I did my nope, I didn't set my NASDAQ that charts up yet. Smoked up.
Looking to see if this level holds here.
Where's he got it on the
Coming down off the top.
off the top?
Yep.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten to the rest of my indices yet.
So you got 80-20
Okay.
there and on the 30.
And on the 30. Yeah, so you're just looking for trend line breaks.
Mm-hmm.
See, I see, I see. Okay. So we'll wait on it. I gotta put my levels in there. So let's see if we settle within that AB boundary. Even if it doesn't play out and we hit the D, we're still within that AB boundary. So at some point, we're probably gonna see a reversal back to the upside on that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So at this point, you're not involved in it. Just draw your trend lines. See what we can get. Appreciate you posting that, Reese. Just continue to be patient. And line up with the smart fit. So we'll just wait and see. Let's see if we can get that momentum to slow and get a move back to the upside. All right. Anything else? We good.
Pair-wise, no, sir.
All right. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That's all you can do. But you did a good job identifying the opportunity. That's all we can do. And then just wait to see if it goes our way. Right? Patience pays. So let's see if it continues, right? And that's the key, just to understanding and knowing, like, well, I'm not going short from here. So I might as well wait, right? So either way it goes, right? It's a waiting game at this point. If you hadn't been involved, from the top on a move down, right? So that's it. That's it for this morning's session. We will be scanning the charts today, looking for any type of additional setups uh, that are starting to take shape as we move through this first week of the year, which is always kind of slow at the gate. Even though we've got some decent price action, some early moves, but I'm definitely looking for things to pick up going into next week. So,
Hey, Benny.
right, yep,
Sorry, before. Oh, you were about to send it to me anyway. I apologize.
yeah, that's
I
okay.
was just to touch base on Ann's question. The wait list. We're working on some final touches on the the new training and the overhaul that we've done. So potentially another week and a half, before we start to open things up. So that wait list, if you have anybody that's interested, definitely have them complete that form and get on that wait list so they can be notified once that does open up. But potentially we can have 2 weeks or so, as we wrap up some of the final touches to the training.
Cool.
I have a
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
question on the
and if
training.
you want to add it to your socials now, you can do that, and send in there, and we'll get a new link to you once there's one available as well.
Donna, you had a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask if I went back to the training yesterday and I noticed that the other things are locked, so you have to finish the one session before you go on to the other one.
Nope, I changed that. So
Okay.
once we release this to the public, that will be the case. I apologize. I was playing around with the functionality yesterday. So
Okay.
that has been since changed, so you should be good now.
All right.
But once it is launched to the public, they will have you will have to complete and pass the quiz
Mm-hmm.
in order to move to the next module.
Gotcha. Sounds good. I like that. Thank you.
We really want to make sure that um, we're challenging people to ultimately be their best, right? We don't want to create an environment where you just rush through things, throw things out there, and then set you up to fail, right? We want to make sure that you understand the information. Not saying you got to get 100% on everything, but you got to pass. You got to put forth the effort to really understand what's happening, so that when you do move through and get the certification, it means something, right? And in the future, there's going to be added pieces once that certification is attained. So this is just the beginning of what we're building, what we're working on, with some of the relationships that we have, and some of the things that we're building on another level, right? So the certification is going to mean something. So we want to make sure that it's earned, right? And you understand and you're able to attain the information so that you can then apply it in a way that makes sense and helps you for ultimate purpose to be a consistently profitable trader, right? So that's the purpose of it. So
Well said. Well said. Make sure you put the time in. Don't just skip through it. Don't just skip through it, right? Because you'll end up doubling back, right? And then that's just waste of time when you could have just done it from the beginning, right? So, with that being said, everybody enjoy the rest of your day. And always remember, don't just count your pips, but make sure that you count your blessings. Have a great day, everybody.